It's our greatest weakness, and our greatest strength is our economic and racial diversity in our district. And to me, I don't know if it's a weakness or it's the thing that drives us and where we're going to get the most out of, and the thing that we're going to have to put the most into and it's all about, once again, coming back to the bridges and making sure that we do build those bridges to include everyone from all economic backgrounds. We have this amazing district. I mean, in all the districts I've ever worked in, this is the only one where it's like the socioeconomic goes from here to there. There are people of all races. There are different sexual orientations. It's so incredible. And I think that is one of our greatest strengths, but I also think it's one of our greatest challenges, because it's always challenging when you have that much difference.
I'll buck the trend. Reputation. I think this is why families leave. It's not because of anything we are or anything we aren't. It's about perception. And it's because families don't know how wonderful these schools are. Every one of you sitting in this audience, you know. We know. We need to do a better job telling people and educating people. And some people will just look on a website and see a MEP score and panic and run. But I know that Gary Meyer has presented on a number of occasions MEP scores broken out and showing and explaining, guess what? Adult ed brings down the high school MEP scores because it's all rolled in together, and adult ed is a very at-risk population. But people who maybe are moving into this district or considering this district might see that and not know, and they run. And so I think it's reputation. And I think it's all about what the Ferndale District Ambassadors are doing. I think Stephanie Hall has been doing a great job reaching out through her marketing efforts. And I just think it's continuing that. I have this marketing background, so that's kind of where I go to. But I think we can just really reach out. And like I said, find out why people are leaving. Are they leaving because of perception, or are they leaving because of reality? And if it's perception, we have to make sure we clear up the perception. If it's reality, we have to figure out what it is and if we can address that, so that our students from our district stay in our fabulous schools. Got passionate.
Thank you. This message is for Christy.
Oh, another message.
Message.
Wow, who's sending me a message?
Some hearts on it. What specific policies would you use or establish to address such disruptive groups as BAM, who disrupted Board of Education meetings and mischaracterized our award-winning UHS program?
You know, I thought that, speaking of Stephanie Hall, I thought that the administration's approach to communicating both through the media and through like the fan out was perfectly said, perfectly stated. I thought they handled the situation great. I also know at one of the most recent board meetings, you all, I guess maybe the word is firmed up that policy in terms of people speaking out where it might be repetitive, or I forget what the word was, but well, the harassing was the other one, but there was one that was redundant, I think was the word that you all put into the policy, frivolous, so that, you know, because obviously people have a right to speak at a board meeting, and no matter who you are or what your opinion is, whether you agree or disagree with the board or the administration, but there is a point at which you know, you can cross the line of civility. And so I think that the board and administration handled it great, and I think by firming up their board policy regarding public speaking at the board meetings should handle that. I wouldn't, at this point, I wouldn't do anything differently than they've already done.
Thank you. This question is for Nankia Mueller. It says, on your blog, you state, I worry that I am not qualified to serve the public. The opposition talks about experience they have and I internally nod and agree with them, do you feel that you are not qualified?
You know, that's actually like my personal blog, which is funny, but it is true. I do worry that I don't have the experience, right? Because they do have a lot of experience. But I know that I'll work really hard, and I think that I can show you, and I'm showing you here today, that I'm willing to suck it up and do whatever it takes to get the experience to be successful.
Thank you. The next one is for everyone. It says, what are your strengths, and what is the strength of your opponent?
I can start.
Camera's over there.
Huh?
Camera's over there.
Camera's on me. Okay. You know, okay. I will waste 1 minute and 50 seconds on myself. I think one of my biggest strengths is that I love to play devil's advocate. I like to look at every side of every issue. And so even if I agree with you, I'll argue with you just to make sure that we flesh out all the, I mean, not to be a pain, but just to make sure that everything bubbles up to the surface and that we make sure we've looked at everything. I'm very detail-oriented. Man, you said I can spot I can ferret out mistakes at a mile away or something, because I am. My students hate me sometimes because I'm really picky about grammar and things like that. But I do. I go through the financials. I go through the written documents very detailed, because I'm not an anal person, but when it comes to those type things, I am like that. I try to be a good communicator. I'm very honest and open. I'm an open book. I tell you it like it is. And I'm not afraid to ask questions. That would be another thing. I guess that's kind of devil's advocate, but if I don't know something, I'm going to ask you. Or if I'm questioning what you're doing, I'm going to ask you about it. So get ready. As far as the strengths of, I'm assuming when it was asked about the opponents, I mean, clearly with Chuck, years of experience on the board, I mean, hands down, there's no arguing with that, and we know that. And Carol, too. And I think experience not only on the board, I know you've been on the board for 4 years versus 20, but you also have a lot of experience, obviously, when you read off your